It's good. It's
It is.
cold now. It's not warm, but it's still pretty good. It is quite a while later when finally the Lady Elnarin once again is entered by several guards, as well as Ryoko, the head of the spell guard. There is also another elvish woman that you did not meet before who is accompanying her. So there's about 4 guards posted around. There is Ryoko, and there is this other elvish noblewoman or servant. Once again, the lady is seated at the far end of the table. She's within earshot of all of you, but there's a noticeable distance that's intentionally put there. And the guards are, of course, standing both behind as well as in front of her. And on either side of her are these 2 servants.
Does the new woman appear to be part of the same house? Or is she something else that I might recognize?
Give me a perception check.
Okay. 25.
25. Give me one more perception check, and if you would like, you could also do a Arcana check instead.
My perception is much higher.
Go for perception.
23.
There's something off about this person. You would initially think maybe it's makeup, but there's something about her features which does not sit right with you. It's not in a way that you can put a finger on, but it's almost like stage makeup or something. But you just look at her, and everyone else just seems to treat her as normal. I don't know. For a briefest moment, you could almost swear that her eyes were wrong, or there was some kind of skin pigmentation around her face that didn't look natural. For a second, because you think just because you faced on a dragon and had all that disgusting harvesting done, you could swear she almost had like scales around her face. And then you just kind of like do a head shake and she looks like another high elf. But for a brief moment, something comes across and you're like, I don't like this lady.
I take a sip of my sake as well, and make a quick, short look over to Finnan, and in Thieves' Cant, I just sort of whisper, the new one might be deceiving us.
Finnan will nod and have another sip. Well, Finn will just have a sip of sake after that and not try and be obvious about it. But okay.
The Lady Elnarin puts her hands together. So, Finnan Silverstrand and his merry band have saved the island of elves. How wonderful. You told me when you came here that it was of a dire consequence that I listen to you and trust you. Terrible things would happen to my people, to all people. And then a dragon attacks the same night you arrive. Curious. She's slowly looking at each of you in turn. And then she lingers for a moment on Sherry. Earlier, you brought a letter from a nobleman known as Arius Swiftfellow. You claim to have no true connection to him, merely being a courier. That was a lie. You were carrying a tracked item. And I think you know exactly what that letter contained.
Wait, is that the letter that I just haphazardly passed off to the guy?
No, that was a contract. Sherry was given a letter by her contact, Arius Swiftfellow, to give direct to Lady Elnar. That was actually the primary reason you guys were coming here, was because Sherry had a reason to come.
Okay.
The lady... You're good. The lady turns to the female servant. Mitsumi, please bring out the other artifact we had scanned from their items. And the woman that you are looking at, Rikathen, pulls out from within her sleeves a small little stone with deep carvings upon it. And Sherry, you would recognize this as the sending stone that Arius Swiftfellow had given you. You hadn't noticed that it had been missing from your possession before. But now it apparently seems that they have absconded with it when you all gave up your magical items very briefly to interview with the lady. The woman, apparently named Mitsumi, places it down and then folds her hands together. Our spell guard was able to ascertain that in addition to being a two-way communication spell, there were also hidden inlaid spells used to track this stone. We believe it was used in liaison with your rival to plan a distractionary attack. For even this very night, Our Lady's most precious vault was broken into, and an item was stolen.
Finn's gonna put his hand up. We are not working with the Golden Ring. I don't know anything about this letter or this stone, and this is not a representation of the collective. What are you accusing us of?
Mitsumi kind of just steps back, and the lady looks over and nods to Ryoko. This is not the only item of curious intent you have brought to our sovereign island. You yourself were found with cursed boots upon your feet that you willingly brought in without divulging. You were asked to remove all.
And did we
Potentially.
remove them?
At our insistence, Captain.
And we did. And you have them at this point, do you not? For further investigation. If you don't wish to have those items and you wish for mayhem to come at you, then we will be on our way. But I don't appreciate us saving your city, slaying a dragon, and being accused of these mean-spirited attacks.
The spell guard looks over at the lady, and she stands up and rises to her full height, and is a head above anyone else in the room. Frankly, Captain, danger has come to my city with or without your assistance. You may take your leave if that is your desire, but I will tell you this. That one, and she points right at Sherry, is going nowhere. You may go back to your boat if it suits you. She quickly turns, begins to walk out. The spell guard kind of gives a look back at all of you and then proceeds to follow out. And Mitsumi gives a little bit of a smirk or a smile before bowing and taking her leave. You notice that all the guards stay in the room. Two of them move down the table and then put themselves on either side of Sherry. Ma'am, I'm afraid you are requested to stay on the residence. We have a room prepared for you, if you would follow us.
You have your past. I didn't ask about it, but you gotta, you sowed your dirt. We'll wait to hear what the hell happens with you next before we depart. but it sounds like you've got some explaining to do to the highest of the elves.
I'm gonna kind of rise up and take out one of my little hand axes and not like completely out threateningly, but take it out and ask Sherry, is this what you want? You want to go with them?
As your hand goes towards a weapon, all the other guards like instinctively just resting hands on the swords. All their hands are on their swords immediately.
I turn to them and say, do you understand what we just killed without damage to your city? Do you really want to anger us?
Finnan's gonna get up and start to walk out the door. This isn't our fight.
We're going to abandon
We're not
Sherry?
leaving. But she has clearly deceived us as well. If she is truly working with the golden ring as the magistrate, is it the magistrate who the council states, and they have proof within these artifacts that we had no idea about, then who are we to judge? Sherry, were those in fact yours?
I knew about the items.
Then
However,
you shouldn't
it
be
was
surprised.
beyond my understanding. She did not seek to hide any from us.
Well, you know, if I learned anything from the cross keys, it's what you don't do that matters almost as much as what you do. It's not that we don't believe in you. We just took down a dragon. How did you? Why would? Wait, what's the guy's name again?
Arius Swift.
Why would Arius Swiftfellow want you to be a courier for him? Are you indebted to the Golden Circle? Well, then, you should have come to us. What? Do you know of the Pirate League? Do you know of these key figures?
I do not.
Well, then you should have asked.
I was asked to investigate an item. I did not see what the elves magician saw in the item.
It's okay.
My shortcoming.
It's
Not
okay.
hers.
Well, I don't think we're in a position to fight or to wage a war against the Elvish Empire. So I think it might be in our best interest to let them keep Sherry and work through their questions, and we'll wait. But I think we've got some work we need to do in the interim to see what the hell is actually missing and what the hell's going on next. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm out fucking a lot of money because I don't think I'm getting my goddamn boots back. And we got some perishable dragon items here that we have to work through. Because at the end of the day, we have to work over our stuff. And, I under my breath, Finn is going to say in Thieves' Cant, the old gods are listening. So we have to be very cautious about what we do next.
Are there doors that lead anywhere else, or are there like dark places in this room?
Technically speaking, there would be one or two shadows that you could potentially sneak your way into. Sherry is still in the room with you guys, so Finnan has moved towards the public exit, and then Letty Elnara and her servants have moved out to the, magisterial exit to secret hallways. The 4 guards are still in the room, 2 of whom are literally on either side of Sherry. They haven't touched her. The guards are all prepped for an attack. You've not really told them that you will not be a threat, but some of you have tried to leave. which you're more than able to do.
Finn's going to turn around before he leaves the room. Is there anything else about any of you that I should know of before we find ourselves in other diplomatic engagements?
I kind of like put on the disguise that had gotten me in trouble previously before dropping it quickly.
The guards kind of start for a second, but they also kind of also calm down. Like, okay, so this guy's just a weird fucking magician.
All right, well, that's that. And Finn's going to ask the guards just straight up, what item was taken from the vault?
I'm afraid, sir, that we are not able to tell you such things, but perhaps you could entreat the lady for more information.
Fair enough. Can we see her tomorrow? Can you schedule that?
As you're right near the door quickly slips open, and being a little bit obsequious, you see Hirota once again. Most honored captain, I would be happy to be your continued advocate in these diplomatic matters. Please. And he leans way over and is kind of being like, get the fuck out of this room, please.
Fair enough. Thank you, Hiroto. You can I'll be packing my stuff up and you can see me on the windbreaker. But before I go, I need you to tell me, where can I find any information on the Pirate League here in this town?
Oh, sir, the Pirate League, of course, is no threat to any of us while we are here on the island. Any such rumors are baseless. You can see one or two of the guards kind of look at each other as he says this, but that's about all that gets mentioned.
Insight check?
No.
Make-
Oh man, fucking.
You can make an insight check. You can both make insight checks. I don't give a shit.
Oh, dude, no, I know he's lying straight to our face. It doesn't matter an insight check.
Okay.
16.
He's lying to you. I could have told you that.
I rolled a nat 20, so as far as you can tell in his features, he 100% believes what he is saying. Now, the guards had a different reaction, but he believes what he just said.
While this conversation is happening, I don't address anybody. I simply walk out of the building, make sure that there's no guards near me, and cast disguise self on myself to look like one of the guards and re-enter the building.
Okay, that'll probably take you a couple of minutes, but for everyone, all intents and purposes, Rickethan just left, and then you don't see him again in the next couple of minutes. So as far as you're all concerned, he just fucked off.
Okay. Well, Finnan's gonna turn to Sherry. I guess I'll check back in the morning.
Captain.
What, Keith?
They seem to have lost a precious item. We're not too far removed from reacquiring such things. Might be a pretty penny in it.
You're not wrong. However, I don't think this lot is at the discretion to tell us anything about it. So, if we have any chance at finding said pretty item, it might be worthwhile doing some research. And he's going to make a motion to keep drinking.
Okay. At this point, the guards basically very gently touch one of the arms of Sherry. Don't grab her, but just you need to start making your way out of here. Okay, so as she moves, they're just going to kind of quietly, a step back, move along with her, and the guards outside the room are kind of just come this way and follow us, and we'll walk you to where you need to be.
I follow with them to see what happens.
Yep, Rickethan, you will follow them to step behind them. They are going to move way away from the main compound and kind of actually go down the hill deeper into the city, but still in the more noble district. So, while that's going on, is there anything anybody else is going to do before they leave the compound?
Mm-mm. Not for me.
Okay.
Is there any opposition of me just like tagging along with Cherie?
Oh yeah, like the second like she's being led away by guards, you can see like guys close ranks. Like so, if you try to like even eye line, where did they just walk her down? Guards just start like standing in front of you, like that's the way out. You need to like. It's kind of understood that you guys are disinvited from being honored guest. You need to fucking leave. And the opposite direction, you see Haruto, who is still just like, this is the way. Come on, this way, this way.
Well, that was quick.
Finin is gonna go dump his stuff on the boat,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's time to go look around and hear some golden ring information.
Everyone else apparently is going back to the boat, so we'll just say that that's what happens. You were led up by Hiroto, who does give you, Captain Finnan, basically a small piece of paper with basically like a residence, like you can check in with me here. I will, do all the diplomatic work for you, sir. He's being a little more involved than you want him to be, and he is very obsequious, but at the same time, you don't ever get a sense that he is straight up lying. It's merely that he's kind of a people pleaser, and he'll tell you whatever you want to hear.
I think he's part of the Golden Ring. Sounds
It's
about right.
possible. It's possible.
Let's put a tail on him.
Meanwhile, Rickethan, you are accompanying the guards with Sherry. Again, none of them seem to be like roughing her up or like forcing her around. They're not even touching her. They're just literally walking in a robotic fashion. You go down a couple of winding paths, a couple of like secret patch doors so you can leave the wider compound and then go around the outside, still behind the secure walls of the city itself, but you're just kind of taking like some back ways. And in a very short amount of time, you and Sherry have walked all the way down a couple of blocks to what seems to be sort of a barracks situation, but also is apparently being used to hold persons of interest. You are surprisingly greeted again by the captain of the spell guard, who is here to take charge of Sherry. I am sorry at the scene that was just caused, but you must understand, it's a very serious charge laid against you. If you have anything else that you can tell me about this Arius Swift fellow, he's a dangerous person. I know he doesn't seem like he is, but he's very insidious. You're cutting in and out. I'm just sorry. Yes. You will be under the protection of Her Lady and the guard of her honored house. I promise you, no harm will come to you, but the interrogators will pull every piece of information from you that they need in order to ensure our safety. For your sake, I hope your crew does not abandon you and they get to the bottom of things from somewhere else. Please, this way. And he kind of like lets you walk in front of him and lets the other guards pass by. You're basically being led down just like to a particular room amongst many, and they're not really much more than like closets that have a place that you can lay down on, a place where you can stand, and then like a restroom. That's it. It's all just like 10 by 10. That's it. Rickethan. There's almost nothing in there. There's like a towel near the toiletry stuff, and a small bowl. You assume for whenever they bring you something to eat. Yeah, but mostly everything is just like as sparse as can be, and there's almost like not fabric or other things there. There's no tools, there's no other little implements. It's very Spartan. As you pass by with the other guards, Rickethan, the spell guard commander's arm shoots out and grabs you by the forearm, and he, without looking at you, leans in very close. You're very skilled, but you're not doing a lot to help your friend by being here. I want you to leave and go back to your ship as fast as you can, or else.
Are you sure about that?
He does turn and look at you, and you can see in his eyes there's like a slight glowing hue, obviously some kind of a spell effect. I don't think that you're as dangerous as they say, but something is going on here. And if you want to be helpful, you should use these skills elsewhere. I've got enough suspicion in my own house to worry about.
When he says that, what was the name of the lady that I was suspicious of?
Mitsumi.
Mitsumi. After he finishes, I look at both of his eyes and I just say, Mitsumi. I'll take my leave.
He doesn't react when you say that, but he lets go of your arm. You.
I look down the hall at where they went, and then I head back to the boat.
Okay. You all eventually arrive back at the boat. Sherry, you're going to obviously spend an indeterminate amount of time in this little holding cell trying to find ways out and sense things. As you all come back, the crew is very interested to know what happened. They heard a lot of sounds. They heard roars, explosions, so they all pepper you with questions. But the most pressing person who doesn't immediately rush up for asking a million questions is Tim Tim. And he walks up to the captain and he walks up to Keys together and he says, I had a bad dream. Is Sherry okay?
You'll be all right.
What?
She knows how to handle herself.
Right, but there was a bad man chasing her. I saw it.
Dream?
You tell us about this dream, Tim Tim.
And Tim Tim proceeds to tell you that he saw a horrible, multi-headed, humanoid figure chasing after Sherry down many different hallways. And you would think it's just an exaggerated child story. Except he describes that she had a letter and a stone that she was carrying. And these had symbols that the man seemed to have put on them that he was using to find her. Like they glowed brightly wherever she ran because she had them on there. And when he tries to describe what the man looks like, because both of you had been in that room, the multi-headed man morphs into the figure of Arius Swiftfellow, a person he has never encountered before, he has never known, but somehow he can describe perfectly, as well as the two items.
A multi-headed man? Can you draw it for us?
Yeah, and he goes and he draws like first an image of the man, and then that long dark hair he starts to draw as like they were tendrils, and the tendrils eventually become different heads themselves.
Well, this is interesting. I wonder if anyone else in the league knew about Swiftfellow and if this is his true identity.
Keys, give me a religion check.
Okay. Religion. Okay. It's a 12 plus 5, 17.
17. The imagery you're seeing is odd, and it's definitely being filtered through like a child's drawings, and the way it's just kind of like the proportions are weird and everything like that. But there is something familiar about a multi-headed serpentine kind of monster. And it's itching at the very back of your head. And somehow it's making you think of your prophetic dreams and the angry roaring and the roaring of a dragon that you just fought. And in some kind of clarity, you reach down into your satchel and you take out that disc. That disc you found all that long time ago from that abandoned settlement underneath the quarry. And you turn it over in your hand, and it's just a simple metal disc with like rays coming out from a center. But you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you look at the child's drawing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you wonder, what creature has 5 heads that would be so terrifying? And that's where we're going to close tonight's session.
It's a Hydra.
What
No,
is
dude,
it?
Hydra has 3 heads. Get it right.
Not if you cut off 2 of them.
I don't feel
Hail
like a
Hydra.
Hydra has those capabilities.
Depends on the myth you base it off of.
Exactly. Guys, that was a great session.
I'm alive.
You're alive.
You made it.
Sherry might not be.
We just let her go really easily, by the way.
I mean, yeah, what are we gonna do?
I don't know how many guards
I
were there. We
really
probably
want you
could've taken
to.
them.
I want you to start a fight with city guards right after a fight with a dragon that you've burned a lot of your shit. That would be so choice. I'd have to do it
Yeah.
off of the paper, but I'd still run that shit if you wanted to. That would have been fun.
Like
I wanted to. I had a vibe to do it.
Yep.
I
This
was
motherfucker.
I was completely out of spell slots. I was out of spell slots like 4 rounds into the dragon fight, but I would have
So
done it.
That's why I'm like, go for it. See what happens.
But I thought, yeah. See y'all.
Hey, Jeff, just so you know, I don't plan on taking a long rest. We have more stuff to do in this night. When
Make a
we
note
pick
of it.
back up.
We'll pick right back up at the same night if you guys want to. That's not a problem.
Refresh my memory.
He technically said that you'll have the protection of the lady up until you get interrogated, and you don't know when that's going to happen. So,
Or what the interrogation will be.
correct.
Yeah.
I could get her out.
I do a jailbreak. I'll plan a jailbreak session. Fuck it.
Okay.
Yeah, it did seem as if the spell guard have ways around illusionary magic.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was a good idea. That was fun.
It was reassuring what he said, though.
He didn't seem to have any kind of actual maliciousness, like, get out of here, you filthy assassin. It was more like he was just telling you, like, I know what you're doing, but stop.
Yeah. Oh.
Let me add one more thing I should have said, and I didn't say it as well. What would be something so terrifying with 5 heads that an ancient civilization would know about it, and it would also come up in this child's dreams? That's the thing that was kind of odd in making a connection to you, is that something very ancient would have to exist to be that much of a problem. And why does it remind you of the dreams you're having? And why does it seem to remind you of the sounds of that dragon that you were fighting? So just start the core board with all the red strings.
Oh, are you
okay?
serious? You got some like Tiamat action shit going on here?
So
Lord.
Remind me when I
And the
was
five,
meditating.
and is it the pirate? The pirate league is like different heads of fucking Tiamat. Every single one of these guys is a fucking dragonborn.
It's really not like I've used the number 5 as a thematic thing, which you're going to see in more than one circumstance. I would totally not have done that.
God damn it! What?
You mean there's 5 of me? Yes,
There's infinite
that is.
Fuck
versions
you,
of you.
Jeff. God.
Okay, so refresh my memory on my meditation.
It makes sense if it's the fucking pirate league. God. How many turtle? There's only one turtle clan.
Let him ask. What's your question?
My meditation session with Tim.
Yes.
We got brought into each other's minds, didn't we?
I'll say you were sharing a kind of a connection.
Is there a way for me to rekindle that to see his dream?
It would probably have to come from Tim's side. I'll say that, and again, if you don't have access to it, I'll give you access to Tim's sheet. I don't think he has the leveled spells yet to do what you're thinking. He does not have telepathic bond. I don't think you have telepathic bond.
No.
Okay.
I don't think I have access to telepathic bond either.
No. So
Oh, why didn't I sense it? Because
he's not a 150-year-old wizard. What are you talking about?
I just rolled horribly when I was looking at it.
And for flavor, I would say it's entirely possible that you were holding something that had like the top level magic incantation, and then there was enchantments beneath it. That again, if he hadn't rolled high enough, he wasn't gonna fucking see that shit.
Yeah, so
To your purposes, it was like anybody of like your guys' level would have just been like, oh yeah, it just lets you talk to people, and then somebody who's much more specialized and much more higher level would be like, oh, this is a tracker too. Oh
He's a
no!
Gandalf. He's
No.
like half demon, half like man of the Lord. It makes no sense.
I mean, the Gandalf just killed the Balrog and died himself, and then had to be reincarnated. I survived.
Derek, did you use Identify on the stone, or did you just like use an Arcana check?
Really, just an Arcana check.
Well,
I
you
don't
know,
have
there you
Identify.
have it.
True. I think that's true.
I didn't have Identify.
At the time. Yeah, and I just had a beautiful realization that now I get to do a moment that you guys don't even know how long I fucking think on this shit before I actually do it. So I've had a moment that I wanted to have delivered to Sherry for quite some time, and now I get to do it next session, and I'm really excited.
Not if we break her out before you can get to it. Come on, guys. Let's speedrun this shit.
Don't give me narrative blue balls, you piece of shit.
You have a spell slot for some of that vapor form or whatever it's called?
Yes. I'll have to swap up some spells, but since the TM allows it.
Yes, if you want to swap out spells daily, I don't give a shit about that. Oh.
So I could retool for next sesh. I probably should.
No, he has to rest to do that.
Yeah.
That's the so.
Also, I'm kind of useless right now until we rest.
I don't think that's true at all, but it's always the most fun to see how useful your character is when you have nothing of its special abilities open to you. We're gonna have to retcon that as like, yeah, they literally made sure you didn't have anything on you. So you probably set aside your weapons to go back to dinner, and then anything else you had on you that you were carrying, they were like, you're gonna have to hand that stuff over. You don't have your bow and arrows and shit on you while you're sitting in jail. No, it's not a fucking Fallout game or whatever. It's not Bethesda. Like, oh yeah, he's got all his equipment right there in a trunk. You just got to open it and put it on.
Oh, it's in a different trunk. You just don't have access to it.
Yeah. Just break out of the jail cell, and then it's right at the end of the hall, really conveniently.
Well, all we have to do is put it in my shell. I'll just
God.
take a visit to her and then pop it
Ike,
out. And then she
I'm
has her phone.
I'm surprised you didn't more quickly. It took you to like 6th or 7th round. You didn't more quickly bamf into your ring, and I'm like, if you did that immediately, and he did it for more than a round, he probably would have lost track of you, and you would have been hidden, and you could have just scattered off. But I wasn't sure whether or not it would also break the vessel because it's a fucking ring, and
It would have. Fall damage on something that small would have been 1d6 for every 70 feet fallen.
yeah.
Do we have a method of communicating back to the Isle of Marquet?
No, not right now.
Is Ragesh
The
on
only-
the boat?
Ragesh is supposed to be on the boat, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Also, you made me like really dig deep with my character this session.
I knew with 3 weeks plus time you would have had plenty of time to find all the angles, and you did most of it. I did get to have one thing off my bingo sheet, so that was nice. I was saddened that you didn't use it more, but I'm like, God, Expeditious Retreat plus, this would have been fun.
I was looking at Expeditious Retreat, but then I would have had to drop my armor.
Mhm.
And that really saved my ass having, because he would have been able to catch me because I would have only brought it up to 60 feet.
Yeah, he had a fly speed of 80 flat, so if he wanted to, he would have caught you repeatedly. So literally, falling out of the sky was your best option.
Yep.
Hey man, when you say I fly up this high to achieve this thing, I'll do the fucking math. So you've really got only yourself to blame. If you had just said, I try to fly above the buildings, I'm like, well, that's pretty abstract. It doesn't have to be very high. But I can see most of the city. That's fucking high, man.
Oh yeah. Sure,
Anyways.
service.
God.
No.
It's so lucky that we homebrewed Earthbind, because otherwise she was gonna be fucking dead. You just like, what's going on? Where did they go? She just crushes right in front of you. Like in bruise, just crunk. Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Elvish women just falling out of the sky. Fuck. Well, that was really fun. I get to now dig into all of my. I just went to. I need to get this organized and then share this out. But I've been pirating crap like mad. So if anybody wants copies of D&D 3, 3.5, and 5e shit, I have it all. I also got GURPS. I also got a lot of homebrew shit. So now I have a whole bunch of booklets to rip missions from and get you guys customized quests all over again.
Ooh.
So all these little threads and plot hooks are going somewhere.
Also,
Well, you literally just gave us a fuck ton right now.
yeah. I have to dig into that a little bit.
Well, I mean, this. Well, I mean that this isn't the first time any of us have actually landed up in jail, And last time we
No.
complied, it worked out pretty well, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Just keep
different circumstances, but
Guys, if nothing else, you got to know that I want you to always submit to authorities. Authorities are the right deal, and if you could just lean down and lick their boots a little bit more, you'll get preferential treatment, I swear to God.
We're gonna be starting fights. Just give us a little more space, a couple more spell slots.
Yeah, then you get dangerous.
You know what, John? You didn't burn anything. You were fresh.
I was fresh.
He was ready to
in
throw
there.
down.
That's why I
He was
stood
ready
up
to throw
with my
down.
axe.
He was ready to throw down. Oh fuck. That's gonna be fun. I have to find special stuff for John because like he's gonna be getting into duels. I have templates for gladiatorial competitions with their own special rule sets. Like, oh, that shit's coming back. Get ready. Like, I'm not gonna let you go through this entire campaign and not have a gladiatorial fight 1-on-1. Are you kidding me? Come on.
It'll be interesting if. Wait, who? Who and who? There can be only one.
He would probably cut through a fair number of the guards, and then the spell guard would come in and just wreck his shit.
That sounds about right.
Also, guys, you didn't know this, but I have a spare character sheet ready to go.
Oh yeah,
You really thought you were gonna die, didn't you, Derek?
it was possible. When he not only hit the first death save, and then he was under the dragon, I'm like, oh fuck, don't kill the dragon yet. Don't kill the... Oh.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I was just like...
right? No,
Conrad, I like how you're using your horn more often.
Thank you.
Oh, that came in clutch right there.
That was a good call. I was worried you were going to just call it in immediately, be like, fight the dragon. I'm like, the dragon flies up really high, and they can't fly.
Well, I thought about that. I was like, how are they actually going to, like, get to the dragon?
No, exactly.
We've got a rope attached to the dragon.
That was brilliant. That was some classic, like, 3.5 edition shit. You're just like, I'm just going to make a giant trap and tie it to a building, and let's see it carry a building off. Like, fuck, didn't think of that.
I'm out of spell slots. What do you expect me to do?
You got a wand.
1 HP that the dragon would just kill Keys outright by falling on him.
I was gonna be a little nice. I didn't want to just be like, "Oh, you're under the dragon, you die immediately." That's not as fun. Also, I would have had to actually. I had to be fair. I would have had to actually calculate how fucking heavy is this dragon, how much falling damage it would do, and I was just like, I'm too tired. I don't want to do the math right now.
To be honest, had you said, "Yeah, sorry, he's died," a fucking dragon falling on him, I would have been okay with it.
No.
Next
time.
That.
It's okay. So next time I'll just size up the dragon to be the size of a building instead of just,
of a building.
Yeah.
I'll
make it even. I'll just keep ranking it up and making it bigger every single time. It's fine.